again to the Shake Up with Dr. Kit. You know it by now. We don't change the structure of anything. We just go to the story behind the story and do a reframe so that the way you used to see things, you see it in the same way, but get a different understanding of it. That's what we do here. That's why we call it the Shake Up, shaking things up so you don't stay stuck seeing things, having the same experience all the time. So we just, with those few words, I just want to welcome you, welcome those that are online, and of course, we're welcoming those that always join us online on Monday evening at 6. It's that time that you just need to program your computers, your phone, everything. You just say, shut it down and go on and see, have some time with Dr. Kit. So we're grateful for that. All right, I don't want to take a whole lot of time, but anyway, you know how it is. We want you to do what? Whenever you come on here, want you to like, follow, share, and subscribe. Make sure that you do that. Like it, follow it, share it, and subscribe it. It is the lifeblood of all of these shows, So, and other people, they have some great info out there. So please do that for them to like, follow, share, and subscribe so that their podcast, their show can go out and be of value to a lot of people. Okay. And of course, if you would like to be a part of this, of the Shake Up, we're just going to invite you to email Dr. Kid Speaks at gmail.com. Okay. Dr. Kid Speaks at gmail.com. My team will get with you and we will get you all hooked up. If you would like to be on camera, that's fine. If you want to be off camera, that's fine too. But we just love to see the face we're talking with. Okay. And so that's it. All right. That's it for tonight. I want to get right into this like right now. Tonight we have a great show. We got this. We got a wizard of a man. This young fella, he's really it. And yeah, he really is. He may not want to believe it, but believe me, he is. When you hear the title that he's bringing to us this evening, listen, we all know what efficiency means. The capacity to which something is working to its optimal. Okay, and so that you can get the very best output from your throughput because of your input. So you have input, throughput, output. Okay. So we're really taking a look at the output of what's going on here. And we need to do that in such a way it is optimized so it is working at its highest efficiency. Okay, well, listen, we got a young man on here tonight, a young man that he's going to take this to another level, because a lot of times when we talk about efficiency and optimization, we normally think about mechanical things, structural things, on how these things work. But tonight, he's going to take this into the brain and tell us about human efficiency optimization. That's what he's going to do. And so right now, I just want to bring on our man, our young man here. He's a very, very good guy. Look at it, he's smiling already. John, how you doing, sir?
Hello, Doctor. What's going on? It's good to be here. Hello.
Hey, man. Did you bring one of those hats for me, man? You can't.
Yes, I'm John Vereen, the founder. Go ahead.
No, I was asking you, did you bring one of those hats for me, man? I love that hat, man.
Oh, we'll hook you up, man. I think it's probably one of the last one of these that I have, but yeah, it's
I don't.
It's part of. It's part of the whole plan. That's right there. It's part of executing, getting people excited about optimizing their humanity, right? And that's what human efficiency optimization is. If I can go right on into it, human efficiency optimization is helping individuals and organizations to optimize our humanity, right? For the thing that we all want, for common ground, for kindness, love, integrity, respect, peace, joy. You can keep going, right? But also understanding our human nature and how we can be inefficient in how we exist, right? So the goal is to help each other, right? Or help ourselves be more efficient in how we just formulate our own perspectives in this shared reality, right? How the thing that we all see and we're all experiencing, and knowing that, hey, we all have the exact same mission statement, to optimize and just exist well, and how we can show up in inefficient ways and be outside of what we want for ourselves in moments. So,
okay,
that's in the gist is part of the philosophy in the concept of what it is.
Okay, so hey, thank you for that, sir. Thank you for that. All right, man. I'm open to learn a whole lot of things. So you know, my wife, she likes gardening. You know, sometimes she'll go and she get a little plant.
That's right.
We nurture it into a big tree. And then sometimes she'll go out and she get a seed. You got to see it, she work the ground and she fertilize the ground, make sure that the ground is going to be hospitable to that which is put in there. Okay. So what I want to know is, where did this seed for this this program that you had, where did it come from? I mean, how did you get it? Human efficiency optimization. Where did that come from? I mean, it came from somewhere,
Yes, through my professional and spiritual and psychological interest in life is where it all came around. Just the perfect storm of those three things in life, lifing, if you will, going through struggles and trying to understand things that are not understandable, and understanding that the mission is still the exact same. So part of my story. I'm a dad. I've been divorced. I have 2 children. One of my kids is special needs, and understanding the failure of that marriage, and among many other things that have happened in life that equates to a struggle that we all go through. To now going through corporate America, going through the military, being a military officer. And showing up in this moment, just understanding, okay, just really just trying to just get a good grasp on how I can help myself get through these moments, right? And have self-control with really hard emotions, and stay focused on, just the kindness, love, integrity, respect, and peace when I've been given, opportunities, or I've been given justification for anger. Give me justification for grief, and so on, and just all the things that are going to happen and that are still true. And what would I do with it now, right? How can I optimize and still stay efficient in just breathing with being angry, with being upset, with being let down, with being stressed, with all of the variables that we all deal with, right? In one of the biggest cases and points in how I came to derive human efficiency optimization is showing up for my son, a nonverbal autistic boy. He's 17 now. So I've learned so much just from being his dad and being in existence and being present and experiencing the things that we're experiencing. And saying, okay, you know what? Yeah, this is the way I'm thinking about this is not optimizing kindness. And I want kindness in this moment. How can I be the thing that I want if I'm not being the thing that I want? Right. And that's highly inefficient way of thinking about, or even achieving and cultivating the peace of mind that we all seek, is to be chaotic or angry, and thinking that since we are acting in those kind of ways, that we can actually accomplish peace of mind, respect, have integrity, staying loving, and be in a mindful situation.
Okay, well, let me, and I appreciate you just right out the block, talking about your son, which that this is very, very important to you. Are you able to talk about your experience of, because you're talking about optimizing, so how do you do it? There's a couple of questions I have, but the first one is, are you able to talk about how you were able to optimize your view of your son given his condition? How were you able to optimize your view so you can communicate with your son, nonverbal communicator? And how did you do that? I mean, where did you start with that?
A lot of it is with trial and error. Also, a lot of it had to do with just understanding, the Christianity and the story of Jesus, right? How a lot of times he was provoked, and a lot of times the situation was very dire, right? And however, he was still true to, in his emotions and in his actions and in his words, it was to optimize, the peace, the kindness, and to address the things that didn't do just that, right? And so, and also that was what I wanted to do with my son, right? So, in our younger years, there was I just didn't understand, right? And so I would just react in anger. And I would do things that I would want for myself, right? That's one of the telltale points of being inefficient in your own existence is, when I would react sometimes. Again, it's really being true to and being able to accept what I was in the moment and name it for what it is and say, okay, I have the opportunity to do something different. So case in point, I just, when Caleb was younger, there was a lot of things that we didn't understand as an autistic boy with his behavior, right? Did not quite understand. When he got sick, he would reject medicine that would make him well. Couldn't quite get to listen to us. And that would be very, very frustrating, right? And to try to force feed a child it can be a very, very stressful thing. And also in trying to control him in public by manhandling, I found that he was much more resistant to the behavior that I would want for myself. And so what I did is, I would just kindly guide him. I would open my hand and I would touch him, and I'd say, okay, let's go this way, and just kind of guide him through. And in those situations, I started to understand, like, yeah, if I show up with the kindness, love, integrity, respect, and peace that I want, I got better results, right? And I've started to understand that with in real life, right? I show up with the sentiment and of clarity. I want to speak with sentiment of kindness. Even though the message might be a bit abrupt, if you will, put a smile on your face and say it anyway, in a very transparent way, and making it an environment where it's okay, right? I saw that to just reap more efficient outcomes, if you will, and so just allowed me to be a better dad to my son, in ways where I started to be able to listen to him. He talks with his eyes. He can tell me what he wants with his eyes. We gotta watch it real quick. Just being able to listen to what's not being said has really good outcomes for you, if you will, when it comes to listening to other people that are in your other facets of life, if you will. I'm able to listen to understand and not necessarily to react or to be right. And so just being in the moment with my son and asking God, hey man, what do I need to do here? And having faith in myself and giving myself grace, being able to make the adjustments in the moment and saying, okay, all right, this is not working. What do I need to do? How about I just start off with the thing that I would want in this moment, right? And I'm still not perfect. That's why it's called efficiency.
And listen, let me just make a quick commercial break. I just want to welcome those of you that are coming online a little bit late. We got Mr. John Vereen here with me tonight.
Yes.
And he is the creator of Human Efficiency Optimization. And we're having this wonderful talk about shifting from mechanical optimization to human optimization and efficiency. Right. And for those of you who didn't hear it, he opened up right away to talk about his son who's severely autistic, he said. And, for somebody to do that, it takes a lot out of him to be able to do that. But then one of the things back to you now, John, you said that, He's nonverbal, right? He's nonverbal. But
That's
then,
right.
but he's 17. But I'm thinking that for 17 years you have learned another language.
That's right.
So now you are bilingual.
If you, that's a good point. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Nonverbal.
Yeah, exactly. You are bilingual in
That's
that
right.
you have developed a way so that you and your to minimize this and to optimize this and to optimize this. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
and
sir. Absolutely.
So in other this, you got all this frustration, but when you do it, man, it feels so great. And talk about that. How you develop this language of yours. Some of his responses. You say he speaks with his eyes. I want to know, does he smile and all this kind of stuff? Come on.
Yeah.
Go on.
So as just like with most relationships, when they're forever, if you will, you have moment, season, lifetime. When we're in a lifetime relationship of fatherhood, sonhood, there is, hey, let's figure out how to optimize this thing or something else, right? Because all of it is true, all of it is possible. So in this particular case, I'm just really thankful for the mindset to want to optimize it for the thing that we all want and be one-to-one with kindness, love, integrity, respect, and peace. And that's the gist of the elements of how we do this right here, right? This is what I want. This is how I'm going to show up. I already know what I am going to do, right? And so again, regardless of how I feel, I know I'm going to have all kind of crazy emotions. I'm going to try the best I possibly can to come with peace. I'm gonna try the best I possibly can to come with all the love and respect and understanding that I possibly can muster, right? And when I fall short, or if I don't, we are still unsuccessful, have the grace to be realistic with what happened and make adjustments, or seek more help, seek more mindfulness, right? Read another book, go out and ask, and that's the main thing about human efficiency optimization. We know we have our perspective, right? In this particular case, we're talking about my perspective with my son and being a dad of a child that's nonverbal autistic. That's my reality, right? That's my perspective, right? And we have everybody else in this world with their where they are with their parenthood, right? And the thing that we have all in common, right, is the same common goal. And how are we most efficient to attaining that, given the hand that we've been dealt, right? It's still the same, right? And so you might think of it as, hey, this is unbearable, and I have to, do all these things that I would never want to do for myself, right? And it may go that way, and I would look at that and say, hey, you know what? That's highly inefficient in just breathing, right? You literally are choosing the thing that you would want for ourselves in order to create this moment that we're in, right? So the same thing with my son. I'm going to breathe as best I possibly can with my son, with all the kindness, love, integrity, respect, and peace. I call it the CLERP, right? That's what it stands for: kindness, love, integrity, respect, and peace. How can I keep the CLERP as best I possibly can with my son? And so with that mindset, it's allowed me to really just be open-minded, right? And be able to create ways and be open to listening to him and associating it in ways where, okay, now I understand what you actually mean, right? And giving him opportunities to step up for himself, right? And really being able to be comfortable with creating what is, I call education or struggle, if you will, for him because of the reality that we're all in, right? So that's really how we come to formulate this unique problem solving with my son, is by understanding, hey, the goal is the same. This is how we're going to show up. When I wake up in the morning, I put my feet on the ground. This is how we're going to start our day, right? And that is literally the thing that's going to help you optimize your day, with your family and all the elements that's going on in your family, how different those variables are, right? And take a deep breath. let it out. That is the point of it all. You're right. That is how can we breathe and be in the moment where we can optimize that thing, that whatever that problem could possibly be. Right. The goal is going to come from whatever we choose. Right. And whatever we think that is actually working, perhaps where we're choosing something that's this social construct, and it's the status quo and how we've always fathered, if you will, with a strong hand. Perhaps you check out and don't get involved. Right. Perhaps you just walk away altogether because you don't know what to do and how to fix it. Right. That's where I started at. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix it. So say again, Doc.
No. So man, listen, man. Your story so far, man, it's amazing. And this is just the preface. Later on, I want to talk to you about writing the book, man. But listen, the stuff you're talking about here now, there's different degrees of that people are going through, and even when there is a greater degree of communicative capacities between the symptom bearer, the one who's carrying, like your son, and the sharer, who is you. There is all this kind of people. Some people will feel very frustrated, But I guess what I want to ask at this juncture is, at what point did you come to realize the condition of your son? That's and then the kind of a slide in is, how did you feel about you?
Oh wow. It's to have a son, and you had when you were once was a D1 football player, in the high school standout, gregarious guy, good with the ladies, love to have fun, and you finally been blessed with having a son, and it's like, okay, you're gonna be even colder than I was, right, in life, right, and then now it is okay. All right, there was my desire, and what I wanted in a son, in a relationship, and how we can come together and do the things and live vicariously, that whole thing. And he is nonverbal autistic, right? And so there was a point where he's not talking. He is not really into anything other than climbing for a very long time. And then that stopped once he starts getting bigger. And I'm trying to figure out like what is going to be the thing. They say, hey, most autistic kids finally get this thing that they're special at, and it's not happening, right? And so there is a grieving, if you will, of what I was expecting, and that I wasn't going to necessarily. Well, I was going to experience differently, if you will, from my homeboys that were having kids and their sons, and they're talking about their kids, playing football and basketball and how they're excelling in school and taking different languages. And I'm looking at myself and I'm like, man, I have to really understand where I'm focused, right? And for me to do the comparison game is a losing battle, if you will, right? It's just going to be highly inefficient in how I show up for my own self, and what I would be focusing on is just going to lead to more resentment, right? I think it was last year, before season the season was just getting started. I'll tell a story real quick. I was out there, a friend of mine, to recruit for her school. She was starting the primary school. And I went to this football practice, and you could smell the grass. You can hear the clacking of the helmets, the whistles, and the set one, set two, hut, hut, hut. And that whole feeling, and I saw the dads and how they were looking on, and support, that looked like, sometimes like criticism, if you will, right? But they're proud of their sons, and I literally, it attached me in a way where I was triggered into tears. So I had to excuse myself because it was something I didn't even know that I was even mourning, that I was even experiencing. And it really brought it home to why it's so important to go ahead and feel those feelings, right? And say, yes, and it's not, yeah, but, and my son is a fantastic human being. He has a fantastic smile. His laugh is just so, it's so infectious. And the way, he has become who he is so impressive to me. And everybody loves the kid, man. Because of how he just shows up with just the spirit, and he's so impactful in rooms, although he may not even utter a word. People have his eyes on us, and it's a great way of demonstrating the anyhow principle, if you will. It's just unconditionally, right? We have each other. Right. Yeah. And so with what we have, how can we optimize our breath in the moment that we're in, for kindness, love, integrity, respect, and peace, right? And I do have my moments where I grieve my own desire, if you will. Okay. And I've been able to say anyhow, right? I've been able to say yes and, and God is good, So that's a little bit more on that whole piece.
Okay, listen, Mike, thank you so much. But I'm going to come back to that because you mentioned the word grieving, and I didn't introduce that. You did. I want to talk about it in a little bit, but I'm going to ask that there was, I believe there was a comment or a question that came up on the screen while we were talking. Okay. I don't want to ignore that. Yes, Christine Lambert. Yes. Now, this is addressing your stuff. It's a true blessing being a bilingual with our children. I could look at some of my students, this is the teacher now, and know exactly when child, had a question and if child going to have a meltdown. Thank you for that, Christine. Maybe one of these days we get you on the program so you can talk about these because I know a lot of teachers and they go through this and teachers get frustrated. And not only that, if they're in a mixed classroom, other kids can get frustrated and even begin to tease, and then anger comes up. So how do you do this? Christine, this is an amazing thing. So thank you. Please consider. Okay, here's 650. We're gonna come back. So here's a good question. For you, okay. Yes. Did you go through therapy to learn these tools, or did you work with a professional? Go ahead and deal with that, sir.
Oh, absolutely, yes. So it is you get to a point of frustration, and you don't know exactly what to do anymore, right? And so, what is it? You have to have you have to have some grace for yourself and say, hey man, I don't know what I'm doing no more. Right. And it's so important to get this right because I only get one opportunity to do this. So I went to, it's just so important to go to therapy, and what it allowed me is kind of, okay, here we go. What it allowed me to do, right, is to, it lit a fire under me to seek more mindfulness, right? And that's understanding that, that's the engine that drives us, right? Our minds is what drives us, right? So it's being able to get a tune up, right? And go into the mindfulness mechanical shop, right? So we can run more efficiently. Go see a therapist, right? And one of the things that I've really appreciated going to therapy is the narrative way of conducting it, right? Where they ask questions and they get you to get it across your lips. That is a fantastic skill, especially for men to develop. right? Because being able to name the thing, right, and saying, okay, yeah, I understand what I see the pattern, and now I understand it. Hey, I can say this is what it is, and now I can communicate it, right? And now I can also discern it as well. I can see the patterns in other people and what they're saying, and now depending on the level of a relationship, where it takes more consideration, we can now see those patterns and ask questions, seek clarity when there's something that we don't quite understand that is happening, right? And we're getting impacted in certain kind of ways. I know I'm kind of going off the question, but yes, going to therapy really, and also going to church, right? And understanding all the stories in the Bible, right? How old is the Bible anyway, right? That's somebody asked Google, how old is the Bible? And understanding the stories of the Bible are still poignant to this day, right? So that what does that tell us about our humanity, right? It's not, we're just a big old number of patterns that we can formulate through how we've been impacted, how we've been conditioned, the things that we have experienced in life, right? And it all boils down to, again, doing that what our mission statement is, right? And saying, okay, hey, we want to optimize kindness, love, integrity, respect, and peace as best that we possibly can, given what we believe, right? Whatever seat that you're in, right? And if we're showing up outside of what you would want for yourself, that's human inefficiency. I no longer use the words right and wrong, right? Because I can tell you right now, it's a lot of stuff's wrong, and for some reason, you are just as human as I am. You think it's right. Right, and it's like, hold on, like, so how do we do, so I can quote you, doctor, on this word? How do we reframe? How do we reframe? Why is it so important to do so? Right, so we can optimize the moments that we're in, given what we are in the moment, right, so that we can have that thing that we all want, that we call it common ground. Right. Yeah. And so, and we get there, right, through going through therapy, seeking mindfulness, right? You go to do yoga, perhaps you go hiking or fishing, if you will. You like to hunt, right? And just the intentionality and why you do those things, right? So you can have clarity and healing and all those different things. Is the whole principle of the framework of human efficiency optimization, so that you can say, yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, I do need to go to therapy. How about I give it a try? Right. Oh, yeah, I don't necessarily know, I'm not necessarily showing up for my son in how I would want to be. Maybe I'm just showing up for my son how my dad showed up for me. Right. And I know that that's not anywhere close to being kind. Right. So why am I doing this? Right. This is highly inefficient for what I would want for myself. Right. Just allowing yourself to say, you know what, I deserve, to understand what real love is. Right. I know that what I've been going through is the only thing that I've known. And I've been exposed to something else. I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent, but it all just boils down to it, though.
Do it. Listen, but and I'm still going to get to grief, but you said something there about showing up for your son. So let me do a little bit of a reframe, because I love to reframe. Look at the story behind the story, right? But
that's it.
In the Bible, Adam and Eve. Adam says, she is bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. Adam was here, Eve was here, and then they came together like bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. And I just want to kind of put a twist on that, because your son is bone of your bone, flesh of your flesh.
Yes, sir.
He is the other part of you that's living outside of you.
That's right.
Okay? Wow. And you are the other part of him that's living outside of him. So here's my question. Showing up for your son is really showing up for yourself.
Come on, man. Let's go. It really is.
What do you think about that?
I think that the reframe can help us understand how it's so important to try to get it right? Because in itself, you're showing up for yourself, right?
Yeah.
And so we're applying it to my son, bone to bone, flesh to flesh with my son. But that's also, it could apply to anybody that you have human contact with.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. So if I show up for myself with kindness, that's what more than likely what I'll get back, right? So I love that, doctor. That's right on point. I love that.
Yeah. Hold on.
Let's go.
Let me get this here thing. I love that therapy is being normal. Oh, yeah, in the Black community. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, my sis. Men are wired to be strong at all times. But it's this, but we're physically broken, emotionally broken, right? You're raising a good point here, sis. Beautiful. However, knowing when to seek help / therapy is the best example of strength. Wow. Now that needs to make the morning news. This, what you just said, needs to make the morning news. This is it, man. Can you respond to that? Now, I'm going to ask you to respond. Thank you, my sis. I'm going to ask you to respond to that, not from a theoretical point of view, but from your experience of yourself.
Yes. So again, being able to be honest with yourself and knowing, hey, man, I don't know what I'm doing, you know, and also just surrendering. You know, I also struggled with substance abuse as well, substance use disorder. And I was using substances to numb the pain and to get beyond it, just to the next moment, if you will, because of the hurt and because of the me being inefficient with the trauma and the triggers in my life, right? I call it TNT. I was blowing myself. You keep on triggering me, and I was just blowing up the situation. Kept on doing it, and it was, you know what? How about if I don't want this anymore, what do I do, right? And I'm thankful to God for giving me the mindfulness, and also allowing me to surrender and saying, okay, yeah, man, I can do this a whole lot better, and it just, for me, it was cold turkey. It was on a Sunday over 2 years ago. I had been drinking, and it was in the morning time. It was breakfast, drinking Southern Comfort plastic pipe. Man, I was in a bad way, and it was, you know, God, what do I need to do? And I literally heard the words in my head. I'm growing to understand when he's talking to me, right? He said to me, quit drinking, go to church. He didn't say which church, he's go to any of them, right? And going to church, or going to and being obedient like that, it gives you the momentum to go and seek mindfulness, right? To being able to surrender. So, you know, all right, man, I've been trying it my way. I've been prideful. And I'm just, what I'm doing, I'm just trying to numb it all up and try to get to the next point, and just settling for, you know, the rest of my life, because that's just what you do. You live a life of alcoholism and depression and manic behavior. Nah, man, God has way more for us than that. Every last one of us. So it was the momentum of what I learned is going and seeking clarity, going and seeking counsel, going and seeking therapy, right? Going and being able to open my mouth and talk to your friends and safe human connections, right? That are in places where we want to go, right? The fellowship and who the people that we bring around us. That's one thing that we definitely need to focus on, or who we have in our spaces, and also being able to discern when we have somebody in that space that triggers our right? And being able to disarm that is this, you know, I can go, but to answer your question, Doc, just dealing with substance use disorder, and being able to, being a recovering addict, recovering person, if you will, has allowed me to understand what that whole piece is, and also to be able to demonstrate that, and how just seeking it out can be the momentum you can use to get the ball rolling for your own recovery, and whatever it is that that is causing you to be inefficient just breathing. So I think that's so important.
Yeah, excellent, man. Listen, man, ladies and gentlemen, you know, I got this phenomenal man on here with you know, we got about another 10 minutes or so. But I mean, this man is so clear. He is so open. He's like looking down through clear water. He's not hiding anything, man. And you know, we appreciate you so much. But here, you know, I'm gonna do another quick reframe for you, you know, and that is,
let's go.
The quick reframe is, okay, living in a world of created consciousness.
Okay. Yeah.
Living in a world of, and the reason I'm reframing it that way, because you have to be conscious of who you are, conscious of who your son is, conscious of the fact that there is a different, and I'm not talking about abnormality. There is a different kind of normalcy that you had to adjust yourself to. And so you're living in this adjusted kind of normalcy. That's why I reframed it. Now, here's my question. You spoke earlier on about grief, or maybe you want to talk about what I just talked about, the altered, the reframed consciousness. I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about it. I really want to get to grief because you raised it. You know?
Yeah, it's all intertwined, right? It's doing one of these things, like you said. So just the reframing your consciousness, the created consciousness, right? It's literally, we can come up with any perspective or belief that can come to our head. Anything is possible. You know, in our mindset, in between our ears, we can rationalize anything based upon, most of the time, how we have been impacted in moments, right? It's something that's inconvenient. I call it the convenience commodity, right? So a lot of times we choose the things that we choose because either it brings us convenience or inconvenience, right? Money, the construct of money, right? The created consciousness of money, or construct of money is a great example of us compromising our own existence because of money. And although you may be able to get rich, we end up doing things to other people that we wouldn't want to ourselves. We justify human inefficiency because of convenience. So that's one of those things that and just understanding that when it comes to human efficiency optimization can help us, again, to start grabbing that momentum to go seek mindfulness so we can make that adjustment, right? And as we talked about grief, it's the same way. It's the same way, right? Grief is highly inconvenient. It hurts, right? Because in this situation, there's grieving someone that you lost, right, through death or relationship, right? Maybe you had a divorce, and then there's a living grief, if you will, of desire, right? Understanding the reality of being a dad of a child with special needs. The things that you want to do, show them how to tie a tie. I can still do it. I can still do that. It's just going to look different, right? Showing them how to shave. He's starting to get some stubble. It's going to take a couple of years, but you know, we can get it done, right? And it's being able to be as efficient as I possibly can with the reality that I'm going through, right? Acceptance work, right? And then that's part of the grieving stages. Acceptance of that whole piece and saying, okay, yeah, how do I heal from this thing, right? Feeling what I'm feeling and showing up anyway, right, for the thing that we ultimately want. That's how we cultivate it. The kindness, love, integrity, respect, and peace. I don't know what to say or do, you know, just dealing with my daughter. I also have a daughter as well, and she's getting older. She's 11 now. And like 2 years ago, we were in Walmart, you know, in the what do you call it? I guess the cycle aisle, if you will. And I'm like, man, I don't know what to say or do, but I'm showing up, right? And I know how I'm going to show up already, right? I don't know exactly what to do, but I can read instructions on the side of a box. And so showing up, right, and knowing I'm going to be kind, I'm going to have love, I'm going to have integrity, I'm going to show respect, and and we're going to go after peace, joy, grace, all those things that make us well in a moment and just optimize our humanity. I just know what I'm going to do. I have courage through that because of, like you said, we can create a construct or a consciousness of anything that we possibly can, right? And I'm so thankful that is on the side of the thing that we all ultimately want, right? So that common ground. So
yeah. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you talking about your grief, because it's not something that people like to talk about. But one of the things I got out of that and out of your human efficiency optimization is this. There is this word called disbelief, right? If you remove the first three letters,
yes,
what do you have? You just completely framed it from something that is impossible or you don't want to something that you want. You come from disbelief to belief.
Yes.
When you get to belief, you started a whole new process up here of saying, over there, I used to disbelieve it, so this is how I used to work. Over here, I believe it. Now I got to change my entire mindset about it.
That's right.
Now I'm getting that. I'm getting that out of your human efficiency optimization. Don't think listen, I didn't kind of come up with that, framed it into something that you're doing, before we run out of time, you had talked about, and I want to kind of step back a little bit. One of our viewers, listeners, she talked about the importance of Black men going into therapy. Okay. What message would you want to leave for Black men who are going through an experience that they don't want to go through, that they did not raise their hands for? Didn't raise their hands for it, but they're going through something, and then they have this big lump in their carpet, and then they're wondering, what is this lump in the carpet? How come the carpet ain't flat? Because you've been so busy pushing your stuff under the carpet, you got this big heel. You can't walk over it, now you got to go around it. So can you talk, sir, about what message you want to leave with our sisters, so they can tell their brothers or their sons, because the women say it's strength. So go right ahead, man. Go right ahead.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good question. So, and for me, I would like to talk to each and every one of them and literally just listen, right? And give them an opportunity to just help them get it across their lips, right? And a lot of times it's just telling the story, telling my story, right? So they can understand, hey, this is how we connect in our own humanity, right? And do the thing that what we're supposed to be doing, right? The most precious thing for us is human connection, right? And our relationships that we have and how we show up in those relationships. And if we show up in those relationships in ways that we wouldn't want for ourselves, expecting control, expecting manipulation, so that we can achieve something that is a social construct, right? What is your legacy then, right? Is it really based upon fear or based upon transaction, or so based upon something that can't be shaken or moved, or it's unconditional, in who you are, and being able to tap into that in who you are right now. One of the things that allows me to really connect with most people is because I believe that there's God in everybody, right? I see it in my son. And so now when I'm walking down the street, I'm looking at my own hands and I see someone else walking towards me. I'm like, how is this even possible that this person can literally just, I can see you, depending on what kind of cologne you got on, we can be impactful in so many different ways. And a lot of times we just walk past each other and not take the opportunity to really sow into each other, the thing that we all want, right? and be the empowerment, right? How you doing? How you doing, brother? How you doing, sister? You know, hello, good afternoon. It's good to see you. God is good. You know, and just being able to greet and just understand and appreciate the blessing that we're in the moment right now. You know, just starting that, hey man, look, just take a deep breath and then let it out. That's the point of it all right there. Just to start to breathe, man. And from there, just being honest with yourself, you know, and how you're showing up for your sister and your brother. Are you being the thing that you would want in this moment, right? Or is it social construct and what you've learned throughout time that just works in this world that we're in? Yes, you might have a correct pattern of behavior that correlates to an outcome, right? And understand what that pattern of behavior actually really is, the sentiment of it all, and be like, yeah, I don't even want that for myself. So why am I doing these things? Why am I yelling? Why am I my physical? Why am I just drinking every day? You know, and put myself in more harm with bad health and hypertension and so on. You know, why am I, speaking to myself and saying I'm no good, like, and believing the words that were spoken to me by my abusive dad or mom, you know, and saying, okay, I'm just locking step with that whole thing, knowing that anything is possible. Anything is possible. And if you can do this, breathe in and breathe out, you can do it just in your breath. You know, just and associate the things that you want in life with the involuntary muscle memory in your body. As you breathe in and out, man, God is good. As I breathe in and out, I deserve kindness, love, integrity, respect, and peace. I can be those things, right? It's being able to just tap into it and create that momentum to seek more mindfulness, right? So you know, hey, you know, I'm looking at my anger management issues, you know, and I want to change that pattern of behavior. Why is it important? Take a deep breath, let it out. I want to breathe in more easily with peace of mind. That's the thing that can allow me to continue to push forward in a way where, okay, I need to seek Christianity, you know, Islam. You want to be a Jew. You want to go to see a therapist. Yes, all those things. Go camping, go kayaking, do something you never done before. You know, tell your kids you love them. Look them in the eye. Try it out. Yeah, it doesn't make, and I felt better. Like I saw the reaction of my own kids, you know, and I told, you know, about, I do have, it's hard for me to do those things. And also just understanding how to get the words across your lips, man. When you're able to frame what's actually you're going through, that's part of the processing of your trauma, right? So you got your TNT, you've been blowing it up for years. And that would be the thing I would recommend you talk about, understanding your TNT, right? Your explosive emotional material. And how you've been triggered over the years and you've been creating all this chaos, right? And understanding it, once you say, yeah, I've been doing those things, you automatically get to understand the scope of healing and the scope of growth. Right. That is the reason why you need to seek mindfulness. Right. And so that's what that last part of what I just said, that's what I would tell everyone to say, hey, you know, understand your own TNT and why you've been exploding and creating things that you wouldn't want for yourself in these moments because of your unknown trauma, your unknown triggers. Or perhaps you know all the triggers, you just don't know why you've been blowing up. You know, because somebody else has been, you know, or you're not in yourself. You don't have self-control.
Okay, Christina, at what age did you notice your son was nonverbal? Sorry if you already mentioned it, but that's okay. That's okay.
He was. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's all good. He was 1.5. I'll just tell what we experienced, and I'm not trying to say I'm one side or the other. He had the mumps, measles, and rubella shot, and the next day he was a different boy. That's what we knew something was up, and we just took him in to get diagnosed. He was 1.5. And that journey, just trying to figure that out, man. Like, it did definitely had a hand in the dismantling of a relationship, between his mom and I, and yeah, it started. That's the age he was when we finally said, okay, we need to be real with reality of what's happening to our son, because neither one of us knows what to do with this.
Thank you for that question, Christine, and I thank you for answering. I'm going to shut it down. Hearing God speak is good, but acting on the message is what allows for the positive changes in one's life. Okay,
that's right.
Your message is a blessing, and that is what one of our listeners are saying.
Thank you.
We just want to let you know. We promise you that we give you about an hour. We are very appreciative of your time. We don't want to go out. We'd rather you come back. Oh, yeah. Christine, thank you, Christine. Everybody's appreciating.
Thank you so much, Mr.
This has been like an eye opener for a lot of people. For me, because I've never really heard about the degree to which this condition can go and what it takes for you. That's why I say you're bilingual. You really are. You got to be. So John. Man, I thank you. Any one last word that you want to leave with them, and then we're going to close it down. And by the way, man, I think you need to come on back and talk about that experience, but at another level.
Okay, absolutely. We'd love to do that.
Okay, so what do you want to leave with the people?
Yes, I would say, again, optimizing your humanity, to help us lift the floor of our humanity to where we are right now, really locking in to where you are in your own perspective, right? And learning how to seek mindfulness so that we can learn how to be unconditional, to show up for the thing that we all ultimately want, to show up and also to cultivate the common ground, the love, integrity, and peace that we all ultimately want unconditionally, especially given the emotions that life will levy upon us, right? Especially in the hard times that we go through, we don't quite understand, or we can't quite assign rationale. That there's a North Star there, right? Optimize your humanity for the thing that you ultimately want. Optimize the moment for kindness, love, integrity, respect, and peace by showing up for the thing that you ultimately want. That's what I would leave you with.
Thank you so much, John. Don't go away. We're going to send you back. We're going to send you back to the green room, and you're going to just out there because they're out. So we just wrap with you for a little bit before we shut it down. Okay. And thank you so much, those of you that are online this evening. It is such a joy to have you. And I thank you for your interactions. I thank you for those wonderful information that you put out in the chat. Oh man, I love to. Oh, okay. Say, sister, I'm glad your son has such an attractive father, attentive father. Oh yeah, and that's what it takes. It takes that to get away from what you see as an impossibility and make possible out of those things that are impossible. That's the reframing from going something negative to making it positive. This way you can walk out and say, I'm going to have a different scope of measuring what I call success. And it's not a measuring instrument that you can buy in the store. It's all here. How do I feel about myself, feeling about my son? And when I decide on that, then I can go right ahead. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Christine, and all the others. And I appreciate you. Listen, I'm going to shut it down now. Thank you for being on the Shake Up with Dr. Kit. We had John Vereen, an amazing man. We talked about his autistic son who was nonverbal and his experience of that. And I'm hoping that would have helped those of you that were online that say, well, listen, I'm going through some stuff and here's what I did. And he went to therapy. He did a lot of good things. So thank you again for that, John. So look, we want you to like, follow, share, and subscribe if you really enjoy this tonight. If there, and I say this every time because every time I get a guest to come on, I think I got it, and then it just keeps getting better and better and better. So like, follow, share, and subscribe because a lot of people out there are going through their own degree of pain, loss, disappointments, and this will help them, and in the end he said, listen, just this with his son, became the demise of the relationship between his mother and himself, so there's a whole nother level of that. And I'm hoping that he and I can talk about when he comes back. Okay, so thank you so much. Like, follow, share, subscribe. And again, if you would like to be a part of the show, please go to drkitspeaks@gmail.com. Okay, enjoy the last part of the calendar that says the 31st. Okay, tomorrow, April the 1st. Don't be a fool. Keep a square head. Hold it onto the mighty hand of God. You'll be fine tomorrow. See you again on next week, okay? And invite somebody else to be on here with you, all right? Thanks much. Be good. Bye-bye.